Yo, what's up you guys? Welcome to Meta Monday, where I set aside Mondays to talk about PvP to help you level up your Go Battle League game. So in this video, since it's my first Meta Monday video in a long time, I thought I might break down what I learned from battling over 1,000 rounds in Go Battle League. Some of these tips gonna be a little basic, some of these tips gonna be very useful. Either or, if you're a new player, casual player, or avid PvP player, stick around this video, you might find some useful information. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna use my first Elite TM to use for, well, we're gonna figure that out at the end of this video. Alright, so let's kick off this video with the most useful tip I think anybody will appreciate. It's how to handle the lag. So this is a 3-step process. One is to clear all your background apps. You just go to General Management, Device Care, and just go to clear all remaining background apps. This will definitely increase your performance for your phone and increase your performance for Go Battle League. The second step is to move all your pictures and videos as much as possible to your computer, again to free up more space, because like any kind of device that has a lot of RAM and memory being taken up by XYZ is going to slow it down. Now, third part is the most important part that I found to be the most useful. If I notice that like my bars are kind of low, I would turn on airplane mode. No, not to cheat, but just airplane mode to just like reset. I don't know what it does, but when I turn on airplane mode for like 10 seconds and then I turn back on data, you guys can see right here that it goes right back up to 4 bars. And it normally lasts about a round or 2. And then sometimes when it's really bad, I just have to do it every round. So definitely try this out and let me know if it works out for you. Alright, so the next tip is how I form my Go Battle League teams. Now this is kind of reflecting off my sociology background, where I check out patterns and I see what's like going on in Pokemon Go trend and for Go Battle League and what everyone's using at the time. And the way I do that is, I watch a lot of PvP YouTube channels already, but I start to notice that like when a certain PvP YouTuber highlights a certain Pokemon to be really good, because they are, you start seeing that more in Go Battle League battles. And the reason for that is because they're teaching a mass amount of people, like new players and casual players and avid PvP players, how to use this certain type of Pokemon in this battle. And with them teaching like the masses, it kind of like reflects in Go Battle League. So if the video has like 50,000 views, that means that 50,000 people are going to use this type of Pokemon for the time being. And the trend normally lasts about 24 to 48 hours, because afterwards people start to catch on to it and start to counter it. And so when I see that, I kind of just check out, okay, what's the trend for the past 48 hours? And if I start seeing that in my Go Battle League battles, then okay, I know what to use for counters. So definitely check out the PvP content out there. The PvP YouTubers, they do the homework, they know what they're talking about, and they offer a lot of useful information. But to also counter that is that when you see them highlight that, that gives you an idea of what a lot of people are going to use. So even if you don't want to watch the YouTubers content, because there are a lot of content out there and it's kind of hard to watch all of them nowadays, you can just cipher through like the thumbnails and see what they're highlighting. And that's what I do, because I watch a lot, but you can only watch so much of it in a day. You got things to do. So that's what I do to like just quickly, look at thumbnails. All right, cool. This is that. Okay. All right, this will be popular. All right, I'm starting to see this in my battles. Okay, I'm gonna use this. And yeah, that normally works out for me. And it does help me out in a lot of battles. All right, so next up I want to talk about the meta Pokemons that you normally see in each league. If you're a new player, casual player, and you just don't know what to use, I think knowing these type of Pokemons to use and to expect will definitely level up your Go Battle League game. So these are like kind of like the top 5 Pokemons that I kind of list that what I normally see personally in Go Battle League battles. Some of you guys may see something differently, but let's just start off with the Great League. Top 5 Pokemons that I see the most is Azumarill, Altaria, Skarmory, Wishcash, and Registeel. You're gonna see them at least in like 50% of your battles. Now for Ultra League, it's safe to say that Giratina kind of dominates 90% of the teams. Afterwards, you have like Scizor, you have Togekiss, Swampert, and Venusaur to counter it. Alolan Muck is also very prevalent. Sometimes you do see Armor Mewtwo, because Armor Mewtwo has a high defense stat, even though it has a low base attack stat, the same as a Girafarig. Its high defense enables it to stay alive long enough to use Side Strike multiple times. And Side Strike is just going to do a lot of damage no matter what. For the Master League, it's pretty limited to legendaries, but like the common Pokemon you see is Mewtwo with Side Strike, and probably with Shadow Ball now, because with the Elite TMs, Dialga, Giratina, Togekiss, and Melmetal. Sometimes you do see Metagross and Kyogre, but of course there are many different type of metas in each league, but these are just the ones that I see the most in all my battles. So if you have these in your arsenal, you're in a pretty good shape. And if you don't, check these out. Alright, so next up I want to talk about is Snorlax in Master League. It's hilarious how Snorlax does not take any damage from Giratina. It can take like at least 10 Shadow Balls from Giratina. Even with the boost, it's like, unless you have Dragon Pulse for your Giratina, it's better off to just switch out. And Snorlax is the sole reason why I don't use Giratina anymore in Master League. Not only that, but Snorlax knows Body Slam, Super Power, and Earthquake to cover a lot of the metas in Master League. It's just a really dominant Pokemon in Master League. And, just want to bring that point up for you guys. Just, just a FYI. Alright, so next up, we're going to take it back down to the basics of farming energy for you new players. Farming energy is just a method where you are attacking to gather a lot of energy for your charge attack beyond what you really need for the following Pokemon that comes into play. So as an example, if you're going against like a Togekiss and you're using a Melmetal, you can use the Rock Slide right away, but you want to just overcharge it because just in the case of bringing a Dialga or a Giratina, you have some extra energy to use and attack against them. That's just a simple basic farming energy strategy that everybody should know in PvP. Alright, so next thing we're going to talk about is switching and how to switch properly to reduce the damage taken when you switch in and out. So normally, at least what people normally do is that when they want to switch into something new, they will like keep on attacking, take a moment to like move the finger to the switch button, and then choose the Pokemon. In that time frame, they're not pressing the attack button, so the Pokemon is taking damage while they're making up their mind on which Pokemon to choose. There are a couple methods to reduce this time frame of getting hit, and by using your other hand to press the switch button to have the switch screen come up, and while you're still attacking, you can choose which Pokemon to switch in. The second option you can do is by switching during your charge move. You can quickly press the switch button to choose a different Pokemon. The more advanced method on how to switch though is to use your Pokemon as a shield or as a sacrifice, or to take in damage where they're resistant to the attack. So basically, you want to time your opponent's attack just right to switch into a new Pokemon. A good example of this is if my Swampert is going against a Alolan Muck. The Dark Pulse from the Alolan Muck would do a lot of damage to my Swampert. But if I time it just right, I can switch in my Swampert to a Poliwrath, where it won't do that much damage to my Poliwrath and I don't have to use a shield. A second method to use a switch technique is that if you have a Pokemon that is already close to fainting in the back and your opponent is about to use a charge move against you, you can switch in that weak Pokemon to take the hit, pretty much like the Pokemon sacrifice basically, and you don't have to use a shield. Alright, so now let's move on to a more technical aspect of PvP. Stat boosts with charge moves. So there are some effects in the game that will increase your attack and defense as well as decrease your opponent's attack and defense. Each one will vary and will allow different type of strategy for you to use in PvP. Anytime a Pokemon gets switched out, the effects that are in play gets negated. Let's say your attack got boosted. When you take that Pokemon out, the attack will return back to normal. If your opponent's defense is decreased, when your opponent switches out, the defense will return back to normal. So here's some example of effects and how it's used in PvP. So the common use of superpower is that they'll use it once or twice and then they'll get out so they can reset their attack and defense stats. So there's a lot of charge moves that will have an effect every time you use it, but some charge moves like Ancient Power, Ominous Wind, Silver Wind has a 10% possibility of increasing the attack and defense by 2 points. But check this out, as soon as it's activated, it like changes the game. It doesn't take any damage at all. The Giratina is just doing damage to Swampert. Pretty much a stat boost can turn the tide around if you have enough HP to use it. So Power Punch is an interesting effect where it boosts your attack by 0.25 every single time you use it. Check out this round right here when I went against my friend Dennis. He switches back from Power Punch to Ice Punch. First he boosts up his attack and then he utilizes it with Ice Punch. Other attacks like Icy Wind, which decreases your opponent's attack, and Sand Tomb decreases your opponent's defense. Even if you block it, you won't take the damage, but the effect will still go through. The only way to take off the effect is to switch your Pokemon out. The next point I want to talk about is movesets and how you can tell which moveset is good or bad. So for you players out there who don't know how to read the chart, this is kind of like the quick breakdown real fast, so you just kind of understand on like how to look at it to begin with. So what we want to focus on is fast attack right now. So you want to check out PvPoke. I'll leave a link in the description below, but you have a list as you can see right here, has a list of attacks, its types, and you want to focus on the last 3 columns. T for turn, DPT for damage, and EPT for energy per turn. The turn column, 1 being the fastest and 4 being the slowest. For damage, you kind of see how much damage it does, and energy is how much energy gained per attack. So of course you want your attack to be the fastest, does the most damage, and gives the most energy for your charge move, right? For each move for a Pokemon, you have to make that kind of decision for yourself, depending on your own strategy. And I'll show you guys how to read them. So let's do a comparison with 2 electric fast moves and see which one you would pick. So we have Charge Beam, which is 3 turns. It does 1.66 damage, and it gives off 3.66 energy per attack. Compare this to Thunder Shock, which is 2 turns, a little bit faster, and it gives off 1.5 damage per attack and 4.5 energy per Thunder Shock. So you can see Thunder Shock is faster, does a little bit less damage, but it gives off a lot more energy for the charge move in comparison to Charge Beam. So which one would you choose for your Pokemon? You want to choose Thunder Shock. Let's do another comparison. So we have Dragon Tail versus Dragon Breath. Now Dragon Tail is more favored for raid battles and gym battles, just a little FYI. But anyways, Dragon Tail takes 3 turns to use. It does 3 damage and gets 3.33 energy per Dragon Tail. Compare this to Dragon Breath, which is 1 turn, a lot faster, 4 damage, and 3 for energy, a little bit less than Dragon Tail. So which one would you use? Dragon Tail or Dragon Breath? Well, you want to choose Dragon Breath because it hits harder, it hits faster. You just sacrifice that with a little bit less energy gain. But you're hitting a lot faster, so you'll be gaining energy just as fast. So you guys can check out this video right here. I explain more in detail on how to read this chart. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. This is the most technical aspect that a lot of people get confused on. Alright, finish off this video with legacy moves and which elite TM I will use this on. So we have a number of legacy moves that are available to us. So I have the link of all the legacy moves in the description below as well. But just checking out some of the movesets right here. Icy Wind for Dugong is pretty useful because Dugong is a tank in PvP. Going down the list right now. Last Resort for Umbreon and Espeon is ideal. And keep in mind that you can always get these legacy community movesets in December. So when you get your elite TM, I wouldn't say use it for a community moveset right away because you'll be able to get them all again in December, which is how they normally have it every year. What else we got? We have Dragon Pulse for Gyarados. Dragon Tail, I wouldn't use it. See, going down the list. Let's see. Kingdra Water Gun. I have it, but I haven't used it. I haven't really used Kingdra. I guess it doesn't fit my style at the moment. Mudshot for Kingler. I would definitely want that because Crab Hammer is like super strong, and having Mudshot, which is like a really quick attack, will be ideal. But I don't have a fast elite TM just yet. We'll get that for the end of season 2, by the way. I don't see anything too useful for this at the moment that I can like really like gung-ho for. Yeah, I think what I'm going to go for is Shadow Ball Mewtwo on my Side Strike Mewtwo. Alright, so I have my 100% Side Strike Mewtwo, but it's going to take me forever to like, you know, max it out and give it a second charge move. So I'm going to give my Shadow Ball to my Side Strike Mewtwo that is 93%. It's a shiny, it's lucky as well. And I don't want to spend another 100,000 Stardust and another 100 Mewtwo candy for my 100%. So, you know, a 93% has been working out for me. So I'm going to switch out my Flamethrower because Flamethrower requires 55 energy, Shadow Ball requires 50 energy, and Side Strike requires 45 energy. So I would rather get Shadow Ball instead of Flamethrower now, because even though Flamethrower would help me out for the metal Pokemon like Metal Growth, Shadow Ball would do just as much damage to a Metal or Metal Growth. So definitely I'm going to click on this carefully. It's cool, you see the whole list of all the Pokemon, of all the moves that you can choose from. So we have Shadow Ball, Hyper Beam, Psychic Thunder, Bolt, Ice Beam, Focus Blast. I'm going to click on Shadow Ball very slowly, right there, making sure. And I like it that you can confirm it because, you know, you definitely don't want to make a mistake. And teach it Shadow Ball, making sure that I'm reading this correctly. Is it Shadow Ball? Okay. Alright. I think I'm ready. Alright. There we go. Teach it Shadow Ball. Okay. 1, 2, ta-da! Mewtwo got Shadow Ball. Bam. right here. Shadow Ball Mewtwo. So I know this video was a little heavy, a little technical, but I wanted to like really help out a lot of the new players and casual players who are still understanding PvP. If you have any questions, of course leave them in the comments below. If you're new to my channel, I'm Tong, aka The Last Hot Sauce. I do all things related to Pokemon Go news, tips, tricks, and I vlog about my Pokemon Go life. If this video helped you guys out, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to catch my next video, you don't want to miss it, subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out.